Hey, everybody. Welcome to Joshua Levy Talks number 10, the Creative Outlet Method Cycle. So excited that you're here. I'm Joshua Levy, the founder and executive director for Joshua Stage, an Austin area nonprofit organization enriching the lives of special needs individuals, wide range of special needs folks, children and adults, featuring activities such as theater arts, improv, music, dance, photography, create story, and showcase. We have after school programs, we've got summer camps, we have individual enrichment programs as well. I'm also the proud author of the Creative Outlet Method at Home Activities for Children with Special Needs, a valuable resource for parents who have neurodiverse children at home, for special educators who serve special needs students. It's just a fabulous, wonderful resource that has the 10 components of the creative outlet method at the front of the book, followed by 30 activities, step-by-step instructions you can use at home with your child and family members, child and friends, and so forth, and your students in your classroom. Super awesome stuff. Glad to have that out available for you at your favorite independent bookstore, Barnes & Noble, even on Amazon. Let's get started with the creative outlet method cycle. If you've been following along with Joshua Levy Talks all the way through 1 through 9, especially here at today, number 10. And if you haven't, no problem, just head to the YouTube channel, Joshua Stage or Joshua Levy Educational Consulting, and you can catch up with the components of the creative outlet method, Joshua Levy Talks, prior to the cycle, how it all comes together. So we have here today the cups starting in the cycle at the top here that we're putting this all together in all the components, starting with the cups to create an activity while you're celebrating every individual's unique abilities who's with you in that activity, all the participants. You're establishing positive relationships, you're supporting your child, and you're creating a successful environment. And we're going to move down to the right on the cycle as we put all this together, and we'll move to the softs where you are serving others for tremendous success. Here's those words that are so meaningful to me with understanding, patience, flexibility, determination, quality, humility, sincerity, and receptiveness. These are all the things that you want to do to enrich the lives of others, your child, your students, your loved ones, your friends, people you meet, you're working with. You're serving others for success, just what it says. So you're keeping this in mind as you're doing these activities, as you're positively engaging and warmly welcoming your child and your students. We're going to move on down to that ray of sunshine approach where if something gets a little challenging, we want to stop and reflect. That's the R in the ray of sunshine. Then the analyze. We're going to analyze the situation. That reflect, by the way, is where we check in with how we ourselves are doing in that moment. If we're in a good mood or a bad mood, and we're going to go ahead and interact and engage with our child accordingly, just so we at least know how we're feeling. So we're going to check in with ourselves first. And we're going to analyze the situation for both physical safety and psychological safety of our child or student. Then we'll feel free to engage at that time with whatever the appropriate, hopefully positive intervention we can use with our child to help get them back to that state of calm, back to that sunshine. And again, more specifically during the reflect stage, we're going to do a needs assessment on ourselves. Here's some questions we can ask about our child after we go through that needs assessment. What does my child need in this moment? Things like maybe they're hungry. Do they need some special individualized attention that they may not be getting right now? Are they stimulated? Are they getting the right stimulation in this particular moment in the context of the situation? Do they need to release energy that we just simply don't know that they have at this moment? Do they need a bio break? So things to think about that could be causes that we're not necessarily seeing that leads the child to a challenging moment. We're going to move down to the right in the cycle with the 5 C's, the compassionate, confident, creative, curiosity, and communication approach as we work with each other, just like we do in the softs. We're serving others for tremendous success. Our 5 C's were our approach in interacting with our team members, our family members, our child, our children, our students. We're going to do with that with the 5 C's of compassion, confidence, creativity, being curious through the eyes of our child, of our students, and communicate positively. Move on down to the HIP rules, which is that hey is hey, hey, what? We've got I am making good decisions, positive words, positive actions, and participation. You may have seen some things like, hey, have you hip today at Joshua Stage? So that means, are you following those HIP rules? Very good positive behavior intervention supports instead of sit down, be quiet, listen to me, I'm your parent, I'm your teacher. Yeah, that's going to happen sometimes. But if we can get in that positive mindset, that's what those HIP rules are for. We're going to kind of start moving up to the left in our cycle with our audience types. Again, more positive behavior intervention supports the A plus audience with our ears open, our eyes open, our mouths closed, unless we're the person performing and presenting. That is the, and we're sitting up straight. That is the A plus audience. That is then going to the B audience, where we're turning to somebody next to us and not really paying attention, followed by the funky fools, where we make some noise, not paying attention at all. So we then can work with our child, our students, and say, are you showing A plus behavior? Or I love that you're showing A plus. Or hey, what? A plus by 3, A plus by 2, A plus by 1. As we move up the cycle into the latter part of what we just talked about at the previous Joshua Levy Talks, we're going to celebrate success. We're going to celebrate success by showing off our Ferris wheel round of applause. Remember this one with our right hand up, left hand up, cross them in front, pat on the back, and a round of applause. That just feels so good. Success is going to look different, as we talked about before, with every child, every student. It's going to look different for what that means and what that looks like for each person. It is up to us, the facilitator of all this wonderful activity and enrichment we're providing, to know what that looks like in a given situation for our child or our student. That's going to look different for everyone. So let's have an expectation to celebrate our child, our student's unique abilities, and set them up for the best success that we can. At the upper left of this cycle is it's not personal. It's not personal. This really comes into context if you're an educator, if you're a counselor at a camp, if you're a coach, so on and so forth, and the child, your students in your program are not, living up to some standard behavior, again, following the HIP rules. They might call you names. They might do things physically. It's not pleasant and it's not personal. What's happening at that moment, it is not about you. It's not. It's about that child having a moment that we may not know what's causing that at the time. They might be taking it out on you. You're the closest adult they know, love, and trust. So that's going to come your way, some of this aggression. It's not personal. Parents, it's, yes, it's your child. Yes, that's personal, of course. They're having a situation. Let's get into that ray of sunshine approach where we're going to reflect, take a breath, tell ourselves as much as we can that it's not personal. It's not about you. It's about this child in the moment and meeting their needs to the best extent possible. It can be challenging. It's not easy. We can't snap a finger and it's, done. I get it. It's just not personal. If we can grasp that as educators, as parents, as caregivers, we can be that light in that moment and we can take a breath. Whatever's coming our way, I know it's not easy, but if we can try and muster that up, thinking it's not personal, we can take it the next direction, which is getting in that ray of sunshine. So if we can get through that moment with our child or student, then we can get into more positivity. So it's not personal. That's hard to hard to manifest in ourselves. I understand that, but we got to get there, friends. It's just not personal. So that is the creative outlet method cycle. Like I said, if you haven't figured out all these things prior to in other Joshua Levy Talks, feel free to check those out on the YouTube channels out there at Joshua Stage and Joshua Levy Educational Consulting. This is in the book. This is the 10th component of the creative outlet method. So take a look at that, the creative outlet method at-home activities for children with special needs. Great, valuable resource. Check that out at your local independent bookstore. They would love the support. That's all for today, friends. We'll have more Joshua Levy Talks next time. I look forward to talking to you then. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.